Right, wow. Okay. Intro song was Milky from Bomberman Hero, as corrupted by the people at Chip Furnace, and I guess I'll put a link in the description for the VOD. And, oh boy. Well, so welcome everyone. This is a little bit nerve-wracking for me, doing my first art stream. Warm-up doodle, definitely somewhat representative of how I feel right now. Yes, I know. It's probably going to be fine, but anyway. Also trying out ultra low latency mode, so we can actually talk to each other in real time. I don't see any problems with that, considering I'm not actually running anything on my main PC. It's all through my laptop. Or hopefully, anyway. Yeah, so today I'm going to be mostly working on KZA's commission. And maybe do some other things, like do another doodle first. It's going to be a little awkward trying to figure out the setup I want to use. Yeah. Okay, I have to, like, put my microphone below my face because I'm going to be looking down at my laptop screen. So, if nobody has any requests, then I might spin the character wheel. But I'd take a quick request from someone for just doing something. Just save that, and let's put some music on then. What's that for your pop? There we go. Oh, what a one to start with. It's not working. Whoop. Oh, didn't quite work. I don't know why it's like this. I go to all that trouble. Oh, yeah, no. Can't do that. It's got to be just, there we go. But I think I'll just leave that. And I could have sworn I put a different layer here, but I guess I didn't. Esther, of course you would suggest that. Well, you know what? I mean, she definitely deserves more love, and I still need to think of something to give her a proper debut drawing. And goodness knows it's been long enough. Yeah, this is slightly ugly because it's supposed to have the channel name underneath, but because of the playlist randomizer I'm using, I can't actually show the channel, so it's just this narrow little strip, so I'm gonna like make that look a bit nicer later. Oh, Cat! Well, it's really nice to see you. Welcome. Okay. Any idea what Esther should be doing? I'm sure I can get into a slightly better position. There we go. Good pencil, I think. Maybe she's playing a game. Where is the camera on a 3DS? Let's just put this on a new layer. It's getting a bit cramped. I also need to get myself an image of Esther to refresh my memory of what she looks like. I'm on Chrome, so I don't have any of my bookmarks. There's my page. There she is. Oops. Yes, thank you. I hate touch screens. They're so unreliable. Really, really. That's the side of my hand. You're not supposed to pick up on that. I don't know how long I'm going to be live for. I can probably manage a couple of hours. Arcade game. You know what? Sure, that's more unique. Let's get a picture of an arcade cabinet. Now, what game would Esther play on arcade? I guess I'll just draw a generic one for now, rather than getting hung up on historical accuracy. Pac-Man? Sure. Well, there is actually a Pac-Man one here. And oh yes, the playlist. Since it's been so many months since I last streamed, then I've had plenty of time to... Oh, what on earth? I just remembered that I forgot to put art on this. It says Pokemon Violet still. Whoops. Oh well. Had lots of time to collect music together. And if you hear anything you like, then I'll put the playlist in the description. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there by now, over 500 tracks, so it should, you know, you'd have a job finding them, but it's better than nothing. How big is one of these cabinets? Because she's 7 feet tall. I'll just assume heads like here. Should we stick there? I guess those are the buttons on the right. You don't even need buttons to play Pac-Man. I'm not sure what those buttons are. Let's get a better picture. Oh, Gordon Bennett, why have there got to be so many versions? Now the one I'm looking at has a screen that's all set inwards. I think I like that better. Skew. There's certainly an interesting mix of stuff in here as well. So has anyone got any news at the moment? Or just chilling? Playing Isaac? Okay. Yeah, you said you were taking a flight. Well, I hope I can finish this soon enough where you get to give some input on your commission. Oh, ain't nobody got time for this. This might help me learn to draw faster when I've got people actually watching me. I feel like I actually have to get my skates on. Yeah, that's good enough, you know it's Pac-Man. Yeah. You can't rush art. Actually, I want to have a... looking back at the viewer a bit, as if to say, what, you never seen a 7-foot robot plushy bunny play Pac-Man before? Find a nice comfortable position, otherwise I'll never be able to do my best. Yeah, not something you see every day. Maybe there wasn't much point putting the stream at ultra low latency, because I'm still only looking up every 30 to 60 seconds to see what people are saying. get a better mouth in here. Ooh, boy, I love when it does that. What? Blooming touchscreens. Oh, this is a fun one.
The hedgehog's right outside my window. SSSSS squad. Arrest SSSS him. Get your gears in gear, slowpoke. I'm good. It's working. It's working. My sneaky scheme is working. It's only a matter of time before that hedgehog's mine. Oh boy, I'm gonna make some hedgehog stew today. What? It's my greatest gift idea. Get that damn hedgehog. Wait. Oh boy, I'm gonna make some
There we go.
hedgehog stew in the afternoon. If it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna get that blue boom. Get ready, my secret project. I'm about to make history.
It might even
When there's one with a video, then
Gizmo works.
maybe.
I push this button. I said I push this button. Damn it! This stupid button. Oh boy! I'm gonna make some hedgehog stew today. Huh? It's my greatest invention ever. Get that hedgehog, do as I say.
I don't think I have any Robbie Rotten ones on here.
Hedgehog stew in the
Lots of Siva Gunner, but
thing I do. I'm gonna get
as much as they do love Robbie Rotten, then
to catch that horrible hedgehog. If I wasn't so
I don't think any of the We Are Number One rips really spoke to me.
cure for a Robotnik.
Yeah.
Obliterating that hedgehog.
Right, now how does one hold a joystick? I've got a stress ball right here, which is probably about the right size.
That's better. As I was saying. I'm gonna make some hedgehog stew. If it's the last thing I do, it's only a matter of time before my hedgehog stew. Now nothing can stop me from conquering Romeo and lots of other stuff too. Oh boy, I'm gonna make some hedgehog stew today.
Drawing hands on stream, that's fun.
Idea. Get that damn hedgehog. Wait. Oh boy, I'm gonna make some hedgehog stew in the afternoon. If it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna get that blue boom. Oh boy, I'm gonna
Yeah,
make some hedgehog
Siva Gunner's lots of fun.
It's my greatest invention ever. Get that hedgehog, do as I say.
Though,
I'm gonna make some
when they fixate on a really annoying joke, then you got to be patient.
would taste so much better with hedgehog in it.
Like with the I've been through various game playlists to bulk out the playlist, and oh boy, the Sonic Mania one drove me balmy with how they were all Totino's Pizza Roll rips. Oh dear, excuse me. Right, now I can get my reference image back up. Yeah, that's probably good enough. I do wonder what all these buttons are that I'm seeing. Because yeah, you only use directions to play Pac-Man. What are you looking at? What? Okay. That's quite deep, actually. Yeah, she probably would be taller than it. How big are these things? No, that's quarter scale, not very helpful. Height 68, very helpful, thank you. Of course, it would summon this one. Oh, whatever. We've got another one here. It's the trailer for Grandad Mania, which I think someone resurrected the development of, but then I think then it died again, so I don't know what's happening. Welcome to the stream. Not sure who you are, but welcome nonetheless. Right, and again, I really need to rig up a better system so I can look at my reference images at the same time as something's on screen. How do her eyes look again? You think I would know? It's my character. Ooh, banger alert. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Gordon Bennett, there's a moth in here. Push off. Oh, this is Esther. I think you were still in the server when I made her, but I don't know if you ever saw her. She's basically, I had a lot of things that I wanted to put into a character simultaneously. Well, I had a lot of things that I wanted to do, like pastel goth, rabbit, really tall, living plushy, robot, and I just did them all at the same time in the end, and that was how she was born. Oh boy, what's the angle here? Oh, I don't know. It just looks like a sock. Brando really took a shine to her, but I still haven't really figured out what I want to do with her, unfortunately. That's really how it be sometimes. And now I haven't left enough room at the top. Well, bum. Oh, hello, Neff. Yes, yes, best bunny. Yeah, there's honestly really no point in me putting it on ultra low latency because I'm still only actually looking up from my canvas every so often. Oh well, lessons learned for next time. I don't fancy fiddling with it right now. I mean, it would be useful when I'm actually asking chat for feedback on something. I think that's fair enough for a warm-up doodle. Wow, that really took me by surprise. It's one of these where they replaced all the instruments with Mario's voice. Oh boy. Oops. Right, well now let's open up KZA's commission, and I'm already at the point where the line art is pretty much done, and I might... shut up, Mario, please. There might be some small fixes I feel I need to do. But I can just focus on colouring for the most part, and I've already made a very small start here. That was like 30 seconds. Let's get into the meat of the stream now. I might need to mess with the colour palette. So it's a... oh. Whoops. There. Yeah. There we go. Things that... tiny details that only I would care about. There we go. Oh, you're good, Casey. Yeah, I haven't specifically asked anything yet. I may ask for your feedback on the palette later, because I may need to change some stuff. Just so that it works, because he's kind of got more dark tones than I realised. So I might need to make the... well, normally it's this lovely little song, which doesn't have the Mario choir in it at all. Honestly, I think it's an improvement. Now, it's an iconic game theme. But with this playlist, I kind of didn't want to have the obvious things. So there's none of the ultra popular things. There's no Mario, there's no Sonic, no Pokemon. And as for indie games, there's no Undertale or Minecraft, even though they do have fantastic soundtracks. I just wanted to have a playlist that didn't have the obvious stuff. You know? Yeah, so as I was saying, I may need... this is like this purple that I'm using is the essentially the black in this color scheme. So I might need to make it darker so that it actually fits, but it might make a nice effect. I don't know. Yeah, but don't be disheartened, because I've allowed lots of lots of other things, lots of amazing soundtracks, random music from here and there, and lesser known indie games. I'm thinking about allowing lesser known actual mainstream games as well, because I mean, I'm one of the things I'm also worried about is getting copyright strikes, but so no Nintendo music, except if it's being corrupted like this one. I have got some lots of restorations of Donkey Kong Country in particular. Because goodness knows that's an amazing trilogy of soundtracks. We've got one of those tracks coming up fairly soon. And here. Oh yes, and also covers and remixes of actual game songs. And of course, Sivaguna rips. That should be okay. Oh, bum. Are you serious? It redrew the line. Now I have to... And as for Sivaguna rips, there aren't very many funny Flintstone ones. This is one of the few exceptions, because it works really well, and I love the National Park theme already. See you. So his hair is going to be the middle shade, since it's brown normally. I don't think there's anything else I need to fill in this colour at the moment. Fret Flintone. Yes, thank you, CJ. Oh wow, that's very colourful. This hair has definitely proven to be a challenge for me to render. There's a little gap there. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to approach the task of colouring it in. Yeah, excuse me. Problem with streaming after dinner. Oh yeah, that's right, he does have the scar on his eyebrow. Yeah, I noticed that from the beginning, but I didn't know if it was going to be something that I could really fit into this limited colour palette while making it still clear what it was. Yes, he is a panda. My first time, as far as I can remember, at all, drawing a bear. Well, I'm definitely drew a bear at some point as a child, you know, but definitely my first time drawing an anthro bear. It's got to try not to sing actually, because it lowers the volume. Can you scroll, please? What's happened? It's stopped responding to my touch completely. Okay, now... Oh, boy. Actually, that's yeah, these should be... What do you mean? What do you mean pandas aren't bears? Come on. Oops. Well, this is a certified hood classic. get to see just how meticulous I am with getting every last pixel, even if it's never going to be visible from the normal zoom. Pandas and monkeys, alright. I think we know who the real monkey is around here. Yeah, so I could make the scar pink, but his eyebrow's already pink, is the thing. Maybe I could make it the this colour. Yeah, so I'll give that a shot. I need to find the reference image of him. Yes, I do have Discord open, so... yeah, it's quite important for me to get the thing working where I could automatically duck the volume down when I talk, so you can actually, you know, enjoy listening to the music without it overpowering me. Okay. Yeah, it's like... okay. Let's hide the colour layer for a second then. Normally I notice details like that. I did notice the scar, but I forgot about it. Like that. Wash off. What is the point? I ask you, what is the point in having a erase up to intersection thing if it doesn't even count it as intersecting? You know, sometimes I can zoom this far in and see, oh, the lines weren't quite intersecting. They barely missed each other by less than a pixel. So annoying when I'm trying to just quickly get it done. Okay, that's good then. Actually... and then it does cool things like that. Oops. Color history. Another advantage that CSP has over Photoshop. Bum. Still doesn't stop you drawing on the wrong layer though. In terms of other music options, I could like put on an album of something. Again, something copyright friendly, but... I've got a few things lined up that I could do that with. Right, yeah, and... I was wondering what colour to make everything, but it's pretty clear really. I don't have many options, do I? I should make the background something I can obviously see the gaps. Nice horrible green, that should do the trick. Ugh. Now his hoodie is like, or his jacket. Yeah, that is like the same colour as his hair in terms of like hierarchy and shade. Actually, it is a bit lighter, so I think I'll make it the second shade. Oh boy, it's this one.
1, 2, 3, 4, go!
Yeah. Oh. What? Oh. Let me turn this one up a little bit. Okay, that works.
Mushroom Kingdom with a big black cherry. Felt a little fear, said don't look back, just don't look back. Yahoo! With the big black said look this way, he said you look so fine that I really wanna make you mine. I said you look so fine that I really wanna make you mine.
It should look even nicer when I do shading. Like the other one I did. Let me find it. I gave it a stupid title so it should show up in Google quite easily. There we go. The free ducker. Oh, okay. Well, give me a link to that in Discord, and that might be a better solution than what I've got already. That's what I was going to do, yeah. There we go. Yeah, once I got the shading in, then this one really came together, and it was a surprising hit for being just a headshot of someone's OC. Anyway.
I said, are you gonna be my man? No! God, please, no! 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 God!
Now, what colour are his eyes?
No!
Oh.
God, please, no!
Oh, I see you then, Brando.
No!
Yeah, they're brown. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how many furries do start out saying, nah, I'm good, but then it's just almost an inevitable thing that you'll find a persona idea that speaks to you someday. I tried for so long to make one of my own, and it just didn't work. But then one day it magically did.
Cool back,
That mashup is like a roller coaster. Okay, here we go. Here's some of that restored music I was talking about. Oh dear, excuse me. I'll keep the volume up. Just for this one. Yeah. Oh, hello, welcome to the stream. Just doing some furry stuff at the moment, as you do. Wow, what a great introduction. That person's definitely going to stick around for longer than 2 seconds. And now... Oh, yours was originally a gift, okay. Interesting. Now what was I doing? Yeah, claws, I think. Panda. Yeah. I'll make a different colour just for the sake of not having everything be the same. You know, it's really bugging me now. It's like a little... No? Okay, I thought that line was coming in here. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah. Okay, flats are nearly done. Oh, his neck's black. I totally missed that. Well... And here's an example of technically not just the original song, so I let it in. Got a few of these as well, where they just put a Nintendo song in minor, and it sounds pretty good. I'll try and make this look a bit nicer. That's not sharp enough though. Oh, because I missed somehow. Even that's not sharp enough. What on earth? Alright. Make it look a bit more natural. Yeah. And that's ugly like that. It's a minor change, but it works. I thought you were playing Isaac. White shirt on the ref. How long have I been live? An hour, okay. Really flies by. And I think the only other non-background thing is this. Right, I forgot I was going to turn it back down again. So it's not too distracting when the audio ducking happens. I know, I'm just playing. Of course you would come in here with your puns. Oops. Oh. Oh, that's the hair layer. There we go. Right, well, it won't matter too much if there's a background pixel here or there, because I'm going to put the background actually in one of the palette colours. That for now. Yeah, I think I would like to change a couple of the shades. Like I would make this one a bit purple. Oops, battery's running low. Right, make the dark one a bit closer to blue and a bit, well, darker, and then just shift this one a bit more in this direction. Something like that, I guess. Make it a bit more saturated, I think. Could work. And then I take this one, make it a bit bluer, a bit darker. Oh, that was not as... Oh! Every time. Let's try that. And let's, yeah, I find it's better if I have a dark colour right next to the, I might make the line art colour lighter as well, so it's not too jarring. What was I about to do? The thing about talking while I'm drawing is that I keep distracting myself. Bum. That's what I was going to do. I was going to replace the colours. There we go. Oh, that's quite different, actually. And I like that somewhat. I think I would tone it down a bit. It's like... Smudge these in a bit and pick something in betweeny. Oh, I actually quite like that. Any thoughts if you're still here, KZA? Okay. Now, shading, I like to... Yeah. It's okay. I just changed the colours slightly, like that. Made them a little more purpley. Okay, good. I've got my mini keyboard here so I can do keyboard shortcuts. Okay. Yeah. Oh yes. And I've got a few joke ones in there just to spice things up a bit. Alright, well, I will make adjustments as I see fit then. Excuse me. Okay. It's going to be hard to shade the white areas because of the next colour being so different. But, you know, I'm sticking to the brief of make the palette fit the orchids that they're based on. Yeah, it's Get Lucky, you got it, Brando. One of their most famous rips, of course, is the Johto Game Corner with Get Lucky mashed up into it. And I love that one. It does get recognised by the copyright system, so... But they still allowed Daft Punk or whoever owns their publishing rights still allowed them to post the video in the first place, so... I don't think I need to worry. This is bugging me. Because I'm a stupid, smelly perfectionist. But yeah, I know, but you did give me those specific ones to take inspiration from. Let's give it a quick flip, just to... Oop. Yeah. I think I tangented with the claws, that's annoying. I think shading will help with that, though. I could do something nice with the background, maybe. Right. Clip that. Oh boy, this is daunting. Yeah, let's actually try making the line colour lighter. Like this. Try that. Yeah, do that. I think that's a positive change. And yeah, there we go. This adjustment is very subtle, but I think it's a good change. Right, well, no sense prevaricating about the bush. Let's do like this. Oops, no. Why did I do that? You also get to see how many times I undo everything. Oop. Did not want to do that. As much as I love drawing in limited palettes because it just looks cool so immediately, it's It's a little annoying sometimes how you can't do anything. You can't do subtle gradients. Like this for now. I'm thinking maybe I add a 6th shade, like I did with that other one. So I can do the shading more easily. Rather than just getting buried under the line art. Decisions, decisions. Go on then. Right, so I've got this sort of shade here. Ooh, here we go, here we go. Got a little Hylix 2 action. For as much as I toot this soundtrack's horn, I sure do continue to not play the game at all. Here we go. I think I can be a bit more daring with it now. Huh? Oh. I would play Hylix 2 if only I didn't have other things to do. No, not that one, you donut. So I've got multiple unfinished Pokemon playthroughs to finish, and then I've got multiple more Pokemon playthrough ideas to do as well. And I've dilly-dallied for so long on thinking about Hylix 2 that Hylix 3 is probably on the way now. The dev's been posting interesting looking stuff on his Twitter at least, though there hasn't been a formal announcement yet. Maybe I'm coming at this in the wrong direction. Maybe I'll just make it smoother. I think I will make it smoother. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I do cell shading normally. Just do it smoothly and figure out the details later. It's the sensible thing. something there. There we go. Definitely nice and warmed up now. The fear with doing an art stream is that it's going to be one of those days where you're like, oh no, I can't draw today, and then, well, you know, if you're doing it for an audience and you can't just stop and give up and go away. I guess theoretically I could, but I would need to set everything up. You know, theoretically I could just do a gaming stream instead, but for how I guess subtle and nuanced this song is, then it really works astoundingly well on this NES version. The nose. Mouse, thank you. There is a bit of a cleft in the middle. Thank you, Panda. Just trying to find exactly what I want to do with it. I'm glad you like it. There's, considering how much you overpaid me for doing this, then I'd better do a good job, hadn't I? Yeah, it should be shaded here because of his hair, duh. Okay, big old shadow here. Oop. Okay, well, not doing that then. Ah, yes. There are quite a few Siva Gunner rips in here which are just Beatles songs, which most of my viewers probably won't recognise, but I will, so I put them there. This one is here, there, and everywhere for, you know, the literally 0 people who are wondering. Well, I'm flattered that you think I can't be overpaid. Yeah, sorry, I was looking down for like 3 minutes there, but he really took the pay what you want option and ran with it. I was a little taken aback by how much he gave me. Hello, welcome to the stream. Wow, my really good what? I think that... I remember this one. Excuse me. Yeah, I know they meant you're with an apostrophe. I couldn't resist. Oh yeah. Let me just... The pad situation is a bit annoying because they have a lot of area which is only just covered by fur, so you can still kind of see it, which is great when I'm doing something as binary as this. Oh. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, who remembers Gangnam Style? Yeah, well, one thing that I noticed, but I never hear anyone ever talking about. And back in 2012, all of us were, you know, we knew, well, those of us who were paying attention knew that it was going to be the first YouTube video with a billion views. But the day on which it chose to break a billion was the 21st of December, when the world was supposed to end. Now, if I were to take such things as omens, then I might. But I never hear anyone mentioning that. Of course, now, if a YouTube video gets a billion views, then it's no big thing at all, but... I remember. Yeah, it is interesting how they already do kind of have a thumb and 5 fingers. Yeah, you want to be true to the actual animal. This one's a bit loud. You don't want to do that thing where you see memes of it's like 25 species all laid out, and it's all these species as drawn by a furry, and they're all just a dog with different bits on. I did find while drawing this guy that he did look a bit like a big cat, but I think it's pretty clear with the markings what he actually is. I'm definitely going to have to work on this in my own time to just with the pressure off, you know. Lynn taking shots. It's not me. It's not me. That's literally a thing that people do to make fun of how furries draw everything as a dog. Let's see. Yeah, it's the first result. Of course it is. Oh no, now it's not the first result. Now I'm actually on the image results page. Oh, I hate when it does that. What? Yeah, that one, thank you. Someone was very salty when they made this. Oh boy, I didn't see that message before. Let me show you. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Hide that, and there we go. All this, and it's, you know, various canine species all look exactly the same. My favourite has to be the snake, which is just a dog with no legs. And then it says, let's all try a little harder. Oof. Someone definitely had a dog-shaped chip on their shoulder there. Honestly, the shark one is actually less dog-like than furries actually draw sharks, which is the funny thing. Yes, there's a little truth in it, definitely. Okay. Now let's do the skin, I guess. Or, you know, the white fur. Teeths. Sometimes I feel like I should get better at drawing the insides of mouths, because they're always pretty basic when I do them. But, you know when someone draws the inside of a mouth a little bit too detailed? And I don't want to fall into that. You know, I get enough trouble from people whose fetish I accidentally draw anyway. It's like, I'm not, it's not my fault I'm good at drawing that thing. Like, anyone who's been in my Discord knows how many times I've complained about people adding my stuff to their foot collections. Like, well, I guess I'm just cursed to draw feet in an appealing way. Even when they're not remotely the focus of the image, they still get added. Yeah, you may say I can make it as detailed as I want, but... whenever a certain thing is suspiciously detailed, you like, even if it's not someone's fetish, it kind of ruins it for you, because you're thinking, well, is it someone's fetish? Like, there's this person on YouTube who does Godzilla animations. which were just, you know, fun and seemed harmless enough, but then a couple of his recent ones, it was this series of little vignettes of someone getting comically done in by Godzilla. But the first two that he decided to do were getting stepped on and then getting vored, and then it was like, is this your fetish? Have you been stringing us along this whole time, easing us into the kaiju stuff, and then you bring this out? And like none of the others were even like that. So it was just disturbing. It was just disturbing that it was the first two. And then, you know, I don't mean vored as in, oh, he just ate the guy. I mean, you know, POV shot, going in, like, strings of saliva and everything. Really worrisome. And when I say all this about not wanting to put too much detail in, I'm thinking of that one meme I saw of trying to draw feet good but not so good. People think I'm into it, basically. And with those Godzilla animations, there were surprisingly few people in the comments who were concerned about it. There were a few, but not as many as I was expecting. Maybe I'll just open the front page of Fur Affinity too many times, you know? Ah, yes. This song is from Hylex 1, but it was actually like deliberately left out of the official OST, which is strange because it's really nice. As interesting as, you know, as much of a vibe as Hylex 1's soundtrack is, I definitely prefer the more structured approach when he got a proper composer in. I'm gonna do something about the glasses as well. Make them pop a bit more. Oh, speaking of popping a bit more, that looks not bad. Not bad. No, did not want to do that. Dear, excuse me. Okay, I think I can define this cheek a bit better. Actually, no, that's actually quite nice. It looks a bit like fur. Quite unintentional. But that's what we do with art. We let happy little accidents happen. as much as I respect Bob Ross, I've never really sat down and watched him really. Because it's a different discipline, landscape painting. I can't really get interested in something if there isn't a character there, you know. Also, you know, he relies very much on it being physical oil paints. He is very relaxing. And I would absolutely aspire to be as relaxing to watch as him. Let's quickly pop that around and... okay. I think the shadow on the glasses might be a bit distracting. I'm pretty sure this is the same drum sample that they use a lot in Mother 3. Okay, let's keep that there. You know, it looks wrong if there's nothing there. I think I'll just put it here. There's an acknowledgement that there is a 3D object there, even if I'm not going to go photorealistic with where the shadow is. I think it's coming together fairly nicely. It's still the hair that's the biggest worry. But yes, I'm not horribly embarrassing myself. Ah, yeah. And this is kind of an interesting one because it's a cover of a Mega Drive track, but like on the Mega Drive still, it's just a more polished version, as if it was a later Mega Drive game. I'm going to turn this up actually. Okay, how are we looking? Not bad. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's why it's doing that. I forgot to put it back on. There we go. A little bit more. And I may be going a little crazy with the detail down here. I'll figure it out later. Yeah. I keep looking at the hair and it's scaring me. Now let's, I think this time I'm gonna... Nope. Yeah. So I'm selecting this area, not the whole thing. I think I'm overthinking it. His eyebrows need to stand out more. I think I'm going to make them the darker colour. Oh, there, yeah. It's still not that clear what the scar is, but it'll do, I think. Yeah. The other side of the hoodie or jacket, whatever. I mean, it has a hood on it, so close enough. You just do it the normal way, stupid. Not that much, stupid. I think the background I'm going to make the top part this colour, but then have some like, little, maybe some orchid patterns if I can get those to work. Stupid. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Cool. thing I like to do that I don't know if people really notice that much, but that makes a really, really huge difference to me is colouring in the line art. So it's not all the same uniform dark colour, but I do that towards the end, so it should really make everything pop nicely then. Yeah, this is not quite right. Well, I hope the ducking thing is working well enough, and that it's not too annoying when it dips down, because like I couldn't. The limitations of OBS, I couldn't make it wait for a second before coming back up again. So when I'm talking as I do, pausing between syllables, then between syllables, you know, between clauses, then it keeps going up and down. I think it's fine enough, though. Again, that's like one of those stupid details that only I would ever notice unless I pointed it out to everyone like an idiot. Down here yeah. And here's an original song by the guy who's doing all those DKC restorations. Like, I want to show a bit of pad under here, but I don't think that's going to work with the with this simplistic colouring. Look at that other one I did. Yeah. There was a bit more to it than I'm doing here. Actually, yes. I think it would be beneficial if I went back into the line art and did a couple of hatched bits. Yeah, like right here. Just a little something, you know. Oh, that lines up perfectly. Oh, I've done goofed there. Also, I bet I'm mumbling so much. Okay, William Shatner. I have no idea what that's responding to because I looked up like 5 minutes ago. Silly, silly me. What's this? Ah, yeah. Sonic Hysteria. Okay. Cool. For anyone who doesn't know what this is a fan game. Yeah. And its soundtrack is much hyped, but I listened to the whole thing and only added like 2 tracks to my playlist. Pausing between every syllable. Yes, true. Oh, dear, excuse me. No, I meant mumbling as in not talking loud enough, actually. And you can't actually hear what I'm saying because I don't enunciate. Okay, that's fine, Casey. Yeah, well, I'll see you later then. And enjoy your flight. And hopefully I'll do a good job with the results and won't let you down, eh? I think that's... Actually, yeah. Quite a small few things I did, but makes all the difference. There's a little more hair detail here. Or not. It's annoying how the brush doesn't always go... Okay, this is a better brush for doing fine details. And for something more chill like this, it doesn't really matter if I'm like talking that clearly. Like, you don't get fed up with Bob Ross for always talking in a very calm, smooth, low volume ASMR type of way, you know? Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. Hair, how does it work? Actually not sure what this is. Let's not draw attention to it, actually. It sounds very familiar. This is the thing with when I'm adding 500 Siva Gunner remixes to my playlist. It's like, I don't actually remember what they all are. So I've got to go through the whole process of, what is this? What is this? I know I'm going to feel stupid for looking up the comments, but I'm going to. Oh! It's Mega Man Zero, that's right. So it's something I don't actually know otherwise. I mainly put this one in the playlist to see if I got niff with it. No, I think those little details really did make all the difference. It's so hard to get the hang of when to put detail in things, because just earlier I was like, I'm being stupid about the shading, but now, yeah, just putting a bit more detail into the lines. I tend to do very simple lines anyway, to the point where putting a little more detail in definitely wouldn't kill me from time to time. Or, I said that wrong, but you know. Okay, let's bring the shading back. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna take a BRB for a second. Ah, I was missing a Beatles one. It's And I Love Her for all the 0 people who cared. Got a cup of tea. Another 2 achievements. How many achievements have you got left at this point? I mean, probably only another 3,000 left, right? Where do I even put my tea? Yeah, okay, well, coming back with fresh eyes, I see a couple of things I can do. I think I want to wrap it up before too long, and then 159 left. How many is that out of? Yeah, maybe I would like to yeah. End by doing a little doodle of a potential like little Linzer to put in my lower left corner to, you know, just signify that it's an art stream, I guess. 637 in total. Oh. I mean, you know, why make 100 mediocre games when you could make one game and spend years and years and years just packing more and more endless content into it. You know, small wonder Northern Lion has literal thousands of Isaac streams. Right, I'm gonna... Oh, I made the bush too small. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, not that much. Yeah, replayability. It's kind of the... I mean, I know roguelikes became a huge thing in the indie sphere, but it's difficult to imagine any of them coming close to having as much content as Isaac does. Which is probably why it's still the granddaddy. I think I may well end up tackling the daunting task of shading the hair when I'm in my own time and not on stream. $80. That's already that colour. It's now an $80 game. I'm not surprised. Considering how much content there is in it. Oh, 80 Australian dollars. Well, let me turn this down and then I'll... Oh, you look up the exchange rate. I can't be... Well, no, you're playing the game. Well, I'm the one doing the stream. Why is it me? He says as he continues to look it up. Oh, so that's $50. Oh, wow, okay. Wow! That's like less than a AAA game. Literal thousands of hours of content. We don't deserve some indie developers. Don't mind me just overthinking some more. I'm sure a forerunning VOR artist would be able to tell me no problem what I'm doing wrong with the tongue, but oh, the fetishists really live rent-free in my head. Now, traumatized is a strong word, but after the sheer volume of times I've just tried to look at what's new on DeviantArt, and it's all fate. Can't escape from it. No matter how many times I press the show less like this button. I would say it's just DeviantArt being DeviantArt, but it's only feet. That's the only one that it keeps trying to show me. Anyway, I've ranted about this enough times in the Discord. Oh, wow. That many characters? That's insane. I thought there were like a dozen. It's actually kind of distracting with the, oh boy, this one's a classic. With the, mouth marking right next to it. Oops. If I can... There we go. And I was going to have another look at this because I think I overdid it. Again. Yes, speaking of items, how many items are there? I think that's another thing that a lot of roguelikes just can't hope to compete with Isaac on, is the sheer number of different power-ups you can get. Wow. Maybe I'm not bad at this art thing. I hasten to add that it's not fake humility. I really do wonder sometimes if I'm any good. Oh, I love this one. It's got a good video too. It's like actually creepy, even though it's just, well, I mean, it's Ronald McDonald, so it's not that hard to make it creepy, I guess, but 700. Good grief. And that with all the interesting synergies that I have as well. Just imagine how much thought must have gone into this, and what an amazing backdrop for this conversation is happening right now. Oh dear. Excuse me. Yeah, though at the same time, I'm not surprised those mods exist where it just tells you what the item does before you pick it up and mess up your entire run. Oh yeah, I know what this is. Yeah, I should wrap up this and get on to doing a little doodle of the boy like I said I was going to do. Yeah, they don't tell you about bad synergies. Yeah, Yeah, it really is just the hair now, and then the hair, the background, and finishing touches. Definitely a job for another time. Okay, I think I'll leave this one here for tonight. Then, oh, hello. There's enough room. There we go. That was probably really close to the mic. Oakley dokley. Yeah, her ears are way too small. Yeah, my wrist is feeling a bit of wear now, so I think last thing has to be do a little, just do a little guy. So I'm picturing he could like sit in the tool area here, like right above my taskbar, and right to the right of the colours here. I'll make him little, like the Nico Lin drawing. Well, that sounds really bad out of context. That's what we were calling it in the Discord. It is this one. Yeah. So I can do the same dot eyes. I'll just have him like with this little graphics tablet. So it obviously takes some refining. I have a little pen here. How do I even hold a pen? Like this. Some people hold pens in ways that I didn't even think were possible. It's bizarre to see some people, you know, coming up, inventing brand new ways just to hold a little stick. Maybe I'll make his hair flip a bit smaller so it's not getting in the way. How on earth do I draw his hair in the other direction? I've thought about trying out 3D modelling, because the one time I did have a serious go at it, I was actually quite good at it, but though I did have detailed reference images, so it was good enough where the teacher was like, "Are you sure this is your first time?" Hashtag humble brag. So I've thought about it. I think it's a skill that I could learn without too much trouble. But especially because I didn't have that detailed of a style. But Yeah, this guy's hair would be a nightmare in 3D. Some characters just aren't supposed to be in 3D. Like, what is this? What is this? What have I done? Oh, fiddle faddle. Oh, that's fine, actually. And he's got terrible, terrible posture, of course. We'll have him nice and compact in the corner. And this is maybe jumping the gun a little bit, assuming that I'll do this again. But, I mean, I enjoyed it. Yeah, well, anime going live action is a whole other thing, but, you know, there are some properties where they make the movie, especially if it's an older thing and they're doing it nowadays. They just make it CG, and it's like, these characters were designed for 2D. Why do you think they look like that? But they insist on doing it anyway. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think if I like bend the truth a bit and say that he's like nestled up, leaning back, then that will make for a tighter little composition. Yeah, because this isn't a tablet, this is a whole laptop, and I've just got it flipped around so I can use it as like a tablet. Honestly, I don't know if there are any anime that are supposed to go live action. Maybe the absolute grittiest ones work like that, but... yeah, okay, so I would want to make him more of a little guy than this is basically just how I normally draw him, but with dot eyes. I can make him a little more scrunkly later. This is a good enough mock-up. Let's close up the edges because I want to do a quick test of this. That's no good. I think that's all of the edges closed up. So by that, you know, I mean, there's no way all of them are closed up. But still, let's have a go, eh? Actually, if I... Is there seriously not a print screen button on this thing? Hang on. Oh, there is. Function F7. Does that work? No? We're getting a bit meta here. Oh yeah, that's true. Slice of life would work as well. Because they're supposed to be, like, relatable to real life anyway. I mean, translating anything into any other medium is going to be an uphill struggle, but... Again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Thinking about the anime question again, I'm thinking of Dragon Ball FighterZ, which was that fighting game. And, like, they have to bring the 2D characters into 3D, but they did such an amazing job coding the engine so it would actually look good. So, I've got this little guy here. And I want to fill... No. Fill him in white, hopefully. Oh no, this is the copy, duh. No? Well, now what am I doing? Oh. Okay. Right, okay. All this just for a mock-up. I don't know if I can put the brush itself on a blending mode, so I'm going to have to do another stupid layer. Okay, some of the lines were too closed. Oh no, that means that it was open. Yeah, I said so, didn't I? There's a tiny gap right there. Oh, and some lumping great big ones right there. That was stupid of me. Nope, still not good enough. Go away. Oh yes. This one's an unusual one. It's one of those ones that you don't expect to be good, but then it is. So I've got my little guy here. Copy him again. Yeah. Well, I mean, like basically any other Dragon Ball game that there's been, they've never looked as good as FighterZ, because in FighterZ, I'm sorry to keep pronouncing it like this, but they put a Z on the end. What am I supposed to do? They made it. They tweaked every polygon on the character models individually. Push off. There we go. So he would go like there. So that would be me streaming art. And yeah. I think that works. I need to figure out a nicer pose for it and stuff. Ah, of course you would start this one right when I'm about to sign off. You cheeky bumbag. It's one of my favourites, this is. This is a certified hood classic. This was my favourite song of all time back in the day. But now it's just, you know, I really like it. It's a shame Not a Clever Pony never really came back and made more stuff. I've put the wrong proportions on, haven't I? There we go. I think I'll just merge that on there. I think next time, yeah, I'll probably finish Panda Dude off screen, and then next time it'll be like something, I don't know, maybe the next commission, but I don't really trust myself to be able to start a drawing on stream, because that's always the hardest part, getting everything in place. The start's always really annoying and the ending's really annoying. The middle is fine, because you know what you're doing, but then you don't have to make it look good just yet. So, I might just do like some more doodly type stuff. I might bring out the character wheel, spin it, and actually draw my guys for once in my life. In a bit closer. Why are you lagging? There we go. And then we go like this. I'm just stalling while I wait for the song to be over. Bad for a day's work. Yeah. Quite pleased with what I've done today. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. You've got exceptionally bad timing, I'm afraid, because I'm about to sign off. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, because I did. And I'll see you all around in some other stream, whether it be art or something else. Good night, everybody.